Hi, Merch Money. We are live with Nick Eden.
Hello, hello. How's everybody doing?
Welcome. And sorry, guys, about the change of day. I don't know.
Yeah, we've been
So
trying to
much
get this
going
going
on.
for a while.
So much going on. So we're like, you know what? Why not? Wednesday sounds great. Let's do a live. Sometimes I like to switch it up also because uh, everybody has different schedules. So if we always do it Monday night, sometimes people can't catch a live. So sometimes I like to switch the days so that everybody gets a chance to catch a live. But anyway, if you're watching this, feel free to share it to your group, your page. We'd love to get some people on here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
And we're going to be talking about all kinds of things. So any questions you guys have, there's been so much news in the last week or two. So we want to catch up everybody on Redbubble, Teespring, Teepublic, and then, of course, Clubhouse, which you guys have all heard me talk about multiple times. That's my latest obsession, but we'll be talking about that as well. So lots of good stuff.
Most definitely. I'm excited. I feel like this is like, I don't know, maybe like 2 years ago when merch was just like really still kind of new to a lot of people and really exciting. I feel like the last year and a half or so things have calmed down a little bit. So I'm glad to see just the excitement around print on demand just kind of coming back.
Absolutely. Yep. And I want to thank everybody in the chat. We got Brad here. We got Debbie. Brad's correcting me. He says spring, not Teespring. Exactly. Yes. So we'll get into that. There's always something going on. And to Nick's point, print on demand has kind of gone in waves of like interest. And I actually started Merch Money quite a bit after Nick Eden was already well into print on demand. So why don't we, Nick has been on the show before, but just in case for anybody new who doesn't maybe know you, do you want to tell a little bit about your background and how you got into print on demand?
Sure. Again, my name is Nick Eden. I am a tier 6,000 seller on Merch by Amazon. I've been selling. So it's kind of weird because I first started selling online in 2009, but really taking it serious in 2015. I started off when I started taking it seriously. With Teespring, which is now known as Spring. We'll get into that in a little bit. And then also Redbubble. But before I got back into print on demand and started selling the series, I came from the FBA and private label world. So I've been kind of all over with it, but because I'm a graphic designer by trade, I have a love for print on demand that probably more than any other form of e-commerce. And so I have my 4554 podcast, as well as another podcast called Morning Cup of Merch. And my YouTube channel that you can get a little bit of content from both. So I'm just here trying to help new sellers. I think there's enough people that are helping people out there 10x things. And, I'm all about the person that's trying to get that first sale or that first tier up, that first book sold, that's kind of my lane, because I feel like the more we help the newer people do things and do things right, the less issues we have on the platforms and, the less likely they are to throw things away.
Good point. Well, first of all, if you guys don't know Nick Eden, I put all the links to his YouTube channel, his TikTok, his Clubhouse. Definitely follow him. I've been following Nick for a long time. And when I was putting his YouTube channel in the description, I was like, are you kidding me? He doesn't have 1,000 subscribers yet? Please, guys, subscribe. I know he has a super simple name. Nick Eden is so easy to remember. So it's like easy to type in. It's kind of like Merch Money. We have that problem where it's so easy to remember that people just type it in instead of subscribing because it's like so easy to remember.
Yeah.
I feel like Nick Eden's the same thing. It's so easy. But subscribe. It makes a difference, and it makes it so you don't miss any videos. And he's been coming out with some really good videos. And one of those videos we're going to talk about today, which was about Redbubble and Teepublic and Teespring, all the changes. And then, of course, we'll talk about Clubhouse too. But
yes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely subscribe to him. He has so much experience. I feel like you're one of the underrated people where it's like you should be so much, people should follow you so much more because you have so much so much experience and so much to help people with. I think I don't remember if I told you or I mentioned it on a video where you were, it was I didn't really get into print on demand until 2018 when I started Merge Money. I was at tier 2000. I had been solely focused on FBA, but just kind of following all the print on demand people. So I was following you, following Joe Clay, following RJ and some other people, but mostly doing FBA. And you, at some point, while I was mostly still doing FBA, you were talking about politics a lot because you're in a political field. So I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that. I mean, now after Trump, everybody's like, how could you not think about politics? But back then it was like, it hadn't even crossed my mind to do politics yet in 2015. So anyway, so much to talk about, but suffice to say, follow Nick everywhere. He's been around a long time. He knows so much about all the different platforms and e-commerce in general. So, so happy to have you here today.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. And I promise I know one of the reasons that my channel has not grown the way that it probably should have is because my consistency, because I do work full time in politics. So on those times where I get burned out, I'm just like, I'm not doing anything. So, but this year I was like, no, we're going to get back on it. We're going to get back on it hard. We're going to grow this channel. We're going to put out as much content as possible. I'm putting out like 7-8 videos a week now. So, so I am getting a lot more consistent with it. So I don't want to disappoint anybody that subscribes to me.
Awesome. Well, where do you want to start? So much to talk about. Do you want to start with Clubhouse or Redbubble, or where do you want to start?
Let's start with Redbubble. This has been an interesting few days with Redbubble.
Yes.
So, and I did a video about it this morning for Morning Cup of Merch. I'm pretty sure by now a few people may have known if it didn't affect them directly, it affected someone in PLD that they knew. Redbubble just went on this huge purge, right? And so you had the confusion about whether people were suspended or their accounts had been completely closed. People were trying to say, okay, let's take surveys. Let's see if it's coming from this particular area of the world. If it's this, and when they realized it was all over, everybody started panicking. And so last night, Redbubble actually put out a tweet and just basically saying that we're aware of what happened. There's an issue. There was an error that got a lot of people suspended. So we're working to resolve the issue now. We thank everybody for their patience. And we know you're frustrated. But that being said, from what I can tell, and I don't have any inside information on it. You know, I'm not that kind of Redbubble seller. But I just know I have 2 Redbubble accounts and neither one of them are closed. There seems to be a difference between the ones that got the suspension email and those who are just straight up closed. So I'm really interested to see what happens after they kind of clear this up and who still has an account. Because I do think when you think about just kind of the crackdown that Amazon has had on content lately, and even Teepublic to a certain extent, I think that, and I said this earlier, I think that this is going to be the year where people who are infringing or just kind of toting the line between right and wrong, I think this is the year that things really start to crack down. And so
I hope you're right. It's been long coming. There's so many people that just copy or I don't know. I don't know how they're really going to catch everybody though. I guess we'll just see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. I mean, so I think about maybe 2 years ago, Teespring, they developed a system because Teespring was probably the worst at it. Like there were so many copycats on Teespring, it was ridiculous. And I think silently, nobody's really acknowledged that Teespring has done a great job with purging a lot of those accounts. They came up with this proprietary software to kind of catch those P for P. I've even noticed because I was like, okay, yeah, it sounds great. Y'all are going to do that. But it got to the point I knew there were certain shirts that the moment I put them on Teespring or merch, the copycats were going right up. And I've seen that decrease well over 50%. So I'm wondering, I'm wondering if it's a situation, and I don't think you'll ever truly eliminate copycats. I just you just can't. I saw one of my shirts on AliExpress once. So you just so you're not gonna just get rid of them completely, but being able to make a significant crackdown on them and getting rid of the bad actors. And let's be honest, I think if you have not blurred the line before, you've at least thought about it at some point where, especially it's those days where it's just like, oh my gosh, the sales are looking bad. Well, that's not really infringing. You try to talk yourself out of it. And unfortunately, you have people that just go ahead and do it, and you have the other ones that's like, look, I'm in this for the long haul. I know that the temptation is there, but when you see these things happen and people start to really crack down, that's when it's like, okay, I'm glad I'm staying on the right side of this.
Yes. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I hope that it gets better on all the platforms. But I'm glad that you're seeing. Oh, hey, RJ, how's it going?
What's going on, RJ? Talked to him earlier.
Yeah, we had a welcome party on Clubhouse yesterday for him, so that was so fun. I'm so glad that you were able to come, and Q, and I feel like we had everybody. We had Mike Gual on there. That was so fun to talk to him. I hadn't talked to him. Well, I never really talked to him. I'd seen interviews and things, but that was, oh my gosh, so fun.
Yeah, there's, you know what? When you look over the years, I mean, if you think about from probably about 2016 to now, how many people have just kind of come and gone that like did really consistent content, and I miss a lot, like the Jersey guys.
I miss the Jersey guys. Yeah,
you know, like I didn't realize how nostalgic things were until we did Merch Talk last week for the first time in like a year and a half, and I was like, wow.
I was so happy to see you guys back.
Yeah, I missed everyone, and like we still communicate. You know, we have a group chat on Facebook that we talk from time to time, but just kind of getting back together. And Joe was like, "Hey, let's do a show." We're like,
that's why I tried to do the Christmas party show and like the 2-year anniversary show, like just anything to bring everybody together, because it's true. Like people, I don't know, we all just get caught up in our own lives and like you miss everybody.
Yeah, yeah. You know, people have moved on and done other things. You know, there were times that I moved on and, you know, kind of make your way back. But I do think that in an effort to try to not turn, and I'm going to get texts and emails about this, but in an effort to not turn the merch community completely into the reselling community, I think it's impeccable that people, and it's important that people stick around to try to do content for new people coming into print on demand. I love the FBA community, don't get me wrong, but it can get so toxic at times.
Yeah.
And I left all of those groups, and the other ones that I didn't leave, I muted because it was just so toxic. And for a while, merch got like that too. So it was just like, no.
Yeah.
So I just don't want it to become that.
It is hard. And just also just Facebook in general. So I think I kind of ran into that this year with 2020. Like I wasn't nearly as consistent as I was last year, partly just because it was just so, anytime you went online, it's just so much. Like it was just so much political or just, you know, just so much going on. You just didn't want to be online. But anyway, let's, so we talked about Redbubble. We'll probably have more to say. I don't know, but let's talk a little bit about Clubhouse, just because we kind of briefly touched on it and RJ joined and everything. So I've done quite a few posts in the last week or two about Clubhouse. So let's first explain, what is it? What is Clubhouse?
Right. So Clubhouse it's a drop-in audio social network. So it was started essentially by these venture capitalists who wanted to have a platform where they could speak something that was kind of off the grid, and they can do.
Sorry, I just have to show Travis's comment real quick. We miss you in all those groups, Nick.
Hey,
Travis, by the way, did an awesome live today in Clubhouse. So.
Oh man, I had to miss it. Like I was so into the channel today that I barely got on Clubhouse. I would have loved to go in there. But so these venture capitalists came together because they were trying to figure out things that they could actually invest in during the pandemic. And it turned out that this ended up being a thing that they could invest in. So they did rounds of, investors. I know it really blew up when Kevin Hart got involved earlier in the summer last year. And so it is an invite only platform. So someone has to be on Clubhouse. You have to have an iPhone or an iPad. And once you get the invite from them, or you can just join the waiting list. But it's a lot quicker when you get the invite. But to me, what I love about it is it reminds me of, because we've talked before about both having a sales background. It's, to me, as close as you can get to that old school traditional networking where you actually have to speak to people. You can't just DM somebody. You can't just leave a comment. You actually have to. If you have something to contribute to whatever that discussion is, you have to get on the stage and actually speak. And to me, that just makes it all the more enticing for me, because I like to talk to people. I like to actually talk to people. And then I'm so bad about messages that I get. Like I've got like 23 message requests on Instagram I got to get back to. And I'm like, just catch me in Clubhouse and ask me, because it's so much easier for me to just kind of do it in the moment. So that's why it's become my latest obsession, I guess you could say. And then that's how I met Q. Q was running the Print on Demand Success Club in Clubhouse. And so I had already thought about, technically I have my own club there. I just haven't done anything with it because by that time I was already doing regular rooms in the POD Success Club. So I do a regular live research every Tuesday at 11 Central. And we go through and we find low competition niches that are selling. Generally do like 3 evergreens, 1 trend, 1 holiday. And it's really because there are a lot of new people that are trying to get in there. And it's like, okay, to me, it's better to do the research in an audio way because they don't get to see the design. Again, trying to eliminate,
good point.
Yeah, trying to eliminate the temptation, especially if you're a new seller. I can take, a little bit more of a risk on something. You can take a little bit more of a risk on something. When I say risk, I mean, I can put up a shirt that might not sell and it's not going to take a bunch of spots.
Right.
But for those people that are in the 10 tier, the 25 tier, and even in the 100 tier, there's a finite number until they can get those sales, which can sometimes take a long time. So I would rather okay, this is the area of what's selling, and not so much you're looking at the design so you can say, oh, I can just do that. And I think if we keep it like that, that eliminates a lot of problems.
Oops, hold on. I meant to do, Travis just did a comment. He says, it's a different kind of platform for sure. I was nervous the first time I raised my hand and asked a question, and I love to talk. Yeah. I think one thing that I love about it is like, there's, just the people that it attracts, like they all are just, I don't know, like they have such great things to say and great tips, and like it's just I feel like it's positive people, and like I don't know, I just love it so far, like just everybody that you get talking on there. I guess, okay, so we talked a little bit about what it is. Basically, it's an audio platform. So everything is kind of like listening to a podcast, except that you can interact with everyone. So you can ask questions, you can talk to everybody. But you can only see what people are doing if you're following them. So you can't see just everything that's available. It's only like if you're following the people. So everybody has very different experiences on this platform because it really depends on who you're following. So some people, they don't like it because I guess just the people they're following, it's all like millionaire this, millionaire that, and it's all like, marketing or something.
And see, that was the biggest thing for me, because when you first get on there, they give you all these people to follow, and then, depending on your interests, as they've developed the app, they have all this, and quite frankly, and this is no disrespect to anybody that's in those groups, in those clubs and running those rooms. I'm not interested in the whole, let me get in this group about the 10X and the scale. And I say 10X a lot. And I know that that's like it's either a great term or it's a forbidden term, depending on who you're talking to in e-commerce. But I like to get to the root of it. When I sit down and I'm doing the research, like and look, love Neil, no diss to Neil or anything like that. I'm pulling up things like Google. I'm pulling up Pinterest. I'm seeing what people are interested in. I'm pulling up Amazon, just the site. I'm seeing what people are interested in, and it's not just to say, okay, everything that you're going to do is going to sell through the roof. I don't want Scott Volker. I don't know if you're familiar with him or not, but Scott Volker said something years ago that really hit home with me. He's like, it's not about getting the home run every time. I'm trying to get the consistent base hits. So quite frankly, I don't really care that, a dabbing dinosaur is riding a Tonka truck while shooting lasers and tacos in space.
Yeah,
that's not what I'm looking for. And even when you look at some of the designs that I do in my design tutorials, I'm talking very simple, very basic designs. These are things. One, there are a lot of things that I happen to find enjoyment with. There are things that I would personally wear. So for me, it's more about that, because again, I think the long game, when you look at FBA, we're 15 years in the FBA now, almost. We're just 5 years into merch. Just trying to do all of that stuff and just, what's at 12,000 BSR this week? That's cool and everything, but how many people now, after all these years, have accounts that are filled with these trends that were really hot in May of 2019. And now you've got like 30 spots that are taken up, but you're so far along. It's like, no, I would rather take that spot and have it with something that, you know what, if that one shirt only sells one time a month, that's fine. I just need 6,000 of those. And to me, that's where it really breaks down. That's where you really play the long game when it comes into print on demand. So, and those are the types of things that we talk about in Clubhouse. I know I kind of went off on a little tangent there.
Yeah, that's okay.
But those are the types of things that we're talking about in Clubhouse, because it's really easy to see the screenshots. It's really easy to see the videos where everybody's doing the income reports, and you see all these amazing numbers. And it's like, well, look, I'm just trying to sell this one shirt, or I'm just trying to get started. I can't even fathom doing, 10,000 in royalty this month. Well, how do I get to that? Okay, let me start looking at maybe some black hat ways to get to it, because I'm just trying to get to that number because it's so enticing. And that's not I'm not looking at the money that I'm going to spend in 2021. I'm looking at the money I'm going to spend in 2031 and beyond. I'm trying to build a catalog that is going to sell and continue to sell safely. And as long as it continues to sell safely, I'll still have a platform or several platforms that can draw that money. And eventually I can get out of the divisive, toxic world of politics every day.
Oh my gosh, so much there. But yes, that's a very good point. This is print on demand. It's the kind of thing where it's something that you build for the long term. You keep getting royalties long after you've made the shirt. So it's definitely something to take your time, do it the right way, and it just grows over time. So
seriously, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but seriously, this is exactly what I mean. This is what I'm looking for. The first shirt that I ever had sales on Merch by Amazon was a shirt about tater tots. And seriously, it was a joke that I heard somebody say, one of the teachers at my mom's daycare center say. Yeah. And I just was like, that would be a great shirt. So I made a shirt about tater tots. It sold in May of 2017. And I promise you that shirt still sells once every, say, 3 or 4 weeks, and has been consistently doing so since 2017. Is that the case for all of my shirts? No. But to me, that's ideal. I want people buying my tater tot shirt 10 years down the line. The key wording is great. It's not that great. It's not the greatest design on earth, but it's a quirky design that, somebody is like, oh, I find that hilarious. And that's what I'm looking for out of print on demand. I'm just looking for it like 20,000 times.
So, all right. So what else? Did we cover everything with Clubhouse? There's so much to cover today. I'm like, I don't even know. So definitely follow Nick Eden there if you want to just try it out. You go live. What days do you go live again? You go live Tuesdays?
So Tuesdays at 11 Central in the Print on Demand Success Club. And then also on Sunday nights, I do just a general POD Q&A. Q also does a design prompt on Monday mornings, where we'll just pick a random topic and everybody just designs, whether they're doing it with pen and paper, over Canva, whatever the case may be. And then, just to kind of jog, because I said it in RJ's room last night, research and design it's a muscle. You have to exercise it. And the more you exercise it, the better that you will get. So we may all, you and I can sit here and we can think of the word donuts and come up with 10 different designs each that neither one of us would ever think about doing, because we build that muscle. And that's what you have to do when it comes to print on demand. That's the only way you get as close to original. There's not that many original ideas under the sun. So as close to original as possible.
Awesome. Sorry, I was muting my mic. My husband and my stepson are being very loud right now. I don't know if you can hear or not, but
I can't hear anything. I have everybody like completely on pause right now. Everybody hush, don't say a word.
I apologize if everybody can hear the background, but
no, you're
they're being hilarious. So it will be it's probably more entertaining than what we're talking about. So
right. That's the other reason I love Clubhouse, because nobody in my regular life still, after all these years, with the exception of my wife, really understands what it is that I do. Yeah. They're just like, So wait a minute, you take a picture of something and then somebody puts it in a printer and it goes on a shirt? Yeah. Yes. So,
facial expression, everything is perfect. Yeah.
yeah. So get
After
on the
like
platform like
45
Clubhouse.
conversations, my husband's like, is there somebody else that wants to talk about print on demand?
Right.
But yeah, Clubhouse is a great place to talk about print on demand. There you go. And all kinds of other topics. Anything you could be interested in. There's conversations about everything.
Yeah.
RJ's asking, do you eat ketchup with your tater tots?
You know what's so funny? I don't even eat tater tots. That's what's I think that's what makes everything so funny.
What do you have against tater tots?
I don't have anything against tater tots, but the only place that I would really eat them would be Sonic, and Sonic has the fries that I love. So,
okay.
Like I can't choose tater tots over fries. Like I can't do it.
Well, there you go.
Terrible when they're cold.
Okay, so all right, we talked about Redbubble, we talked about Clubhouse. Should we talk about Spring?
Yes. I am so excited about that. So, I've been tagged like from the time I started doing content as the Teespring guy. Only because like it's where I started, it's where I got the first check with a comma in it with print on demand. So so for me, as many issues as they've had in the past, I still kind of rock with the platform. Teespring is very upfront about the fact that their organic traffic sucks. Yeah, their marketplace is terrible. I don't think it's ever been, because they've always been designed to be a place where creators drive their own traffic. Mm-hmm. So they know that, they understand that, and they've attempted to pivot in the past. If you remember those Facebook ads back in the day, there literally you would not see a minute go by without seeing an ad for a T-shirt that, like for me, I would always see ones that say things like Team Eden. And I'm like, I didn't make this shirt. So somebody, clearly I'm being targeted. Facebook was kind of like their vehicle of choice. And then as other people got into space, they kind of tried to make that shift towards Instagram. And then let's be honest, when Merch got into the space, Merch took over as the king of print on demand. And so they just kind of really needed to find their identity. What I will say that I've always appreciated about them is they have been very interactive with their sellers. They actually used to run a private group on Facebook where as a Teespring seller, you can go in there, if you have issues, anything. They actually had staff from Teespring on there that would talk to you, which is something you would never get on Merch. Let's just be honest. If Amazon has a private group, they're not letting my ass in there. So, so what they ended up doing was this year they have rebranded themselves as Spring, and they're going back to the basics of it: create there, sell on social. So they've really caught their stride when they started doing the merch shelf on YouTube channels. And so to even qualify for the merch shelf, you have to have 10,000 subscribers and up, right? So they automatically got to people who had a following and a steady fan base, and they allowed them to sell their merch there. So they just expanded on that, and they're kind of doubling down on that, and they're really getting into their integrations. So with the launch of Spring, they're doing things like they're doing a TikTok integration, which I'm super excited about because I've started building content on TikTok. And since I'm doing design tutorials in there, I might as well sell the shirts that I'm designing there. But in addition to that, they're continuing to strengthen their relationship with Instagram. And I have to look into it because I'm not a Twitch person, but I know that they are selling or setting up to sell on Twitch the same way that they were with YouTube. So to me, that's them saying, listen, we know what we're bad at. We know what we're good at. What we're good at, we're really good at. So we're going to rebrand and focus on that. But then they're also doing digital stores as well, which they started before the rebranding. But to me, I've always loved their storefronts. And so with them doing full-on creator websites now, which kind of, obviously they're not going to knock Shopify off of any spaces, but trying to go for that crowd that is on things like Big Cartel, WooCommerce, Wix, Squarespace, places like that. And I think the advantage that they have is that they don't have to connect to a Printful or a Printify or a T-Launch, and your credit card isn't getting charged every time somebody makes a sale. So if you're driving traffic, to your store, it's going. It's the same way it would be with Redbubble, and their margins are still phenomenal. I'm excited about it. It's actually got me just like, okay, I have all of these different ideas now for things that I can do with Spring, and I'm like really looking forward to seeing what they have coming up.
Yeah, guys, if you didn't see his video, Nick posted it in Merch Money, but it was all about these updates. And I loved what you were talking about with your TikTok channel. So Spring links with TikTok, right? Or
Right.
they're going to.
So they're taking people on the wait list now.
Okay.
Obviously, they have some, I'm positive they have some influencers that are already testing it out, but they are taking people on the wait list now. And so very simple, similar to how they did with Instagram, you can be able to sell directly from your TikTok channel.
Yeah.
Yep.
While we're mentioning that, you should talk about your TikTok channel. I love it.
Right. So my theme for 2021 is stay in my lane. And here's the thing. I am not the seller that Ken Real is, or that hell any of the Amy's are, or RJ or anybody.
Good point. There's so many Amy's.
There's so many Amy's, and they're all making a lot of money.
Yeah.
But for me, again, I have two main desires when it comes to print on demand. One is that I help new people get in and do this the right way. And get those first couple of sales. Because I always say, if you can sell one design, you can sell 10, you can sell 10, you can sell 100, 100,000, and so on and so on.
Yeah.
So that's one. And then two, that even a person with no graphic design experience can, in a drag and drop environment, be able to still create. I'm not trying to take any business away from any of the VAs, any of the illustrators, anything like that. But if you're just starting out, which, let's be honest, for a lot of people in print on demand, this is their first venture into business ownership. And I have a strong belief that if you are going into business, that you should be able to at least be functional in all the areas of your business that you're going into. Mm-hmm. And so I know that I can, if nothing else, I can pick up my phone and I can do a design on the Over app. I've tried the Canva app. I know Canva's hot right now. Everybody loves Canva. I can't do it.
I like Over better too.
Yeah.
I like Canva though. I do use Canva. Canva's how I make the thumbnails. And I know that's not a good endorsement for Canva because I don't really do anything with the thumbnails.
I like the thumbnails. They're clean and consistent.
But yeah, Canva has really good templates and super easy to use. But for some reason, and again, it's probably just because I started with Over. So that's why I use Over for merch shirts. Oh, yeah. But yes, if anybody, because people have heard me talk about Over and they keep wanting me to make a tutorial and I keep not doing it. But look at Nick Eden's tutorial on Over. He did a good one. I think Chris Green did a good one. So there's some tutorials out there about how to use Over for merch.
Definitely.
It's just so easy and it's always with you. So if you get an idea, it's like real quick, you can do it.
Well, and the beautiful thing about it is they've now opened it up so it's on Android as well. They have a desktop version of it. I'm not really a fan of the desktop version.
I've never even tried it.
Yeah, I had to have a drink afterwards because it was it was definitely an experience. But so essentially what I've done is I sit there and I'm at this point I'm doing about 80% of my designs on Over, and I just said, you know what? I'm doing these designs anyway. At this point, I'm cranking out like 50, 60 designs a week. Let me just record some of this. So I will record my screen, speed it up a little bit, add music to it. And then I was starting off, I was doing it on YouTube for the YouTube Shorts. I was like, this will be a nice, quick way to introduce people to little simple designs that you make, because everything that I make is within Over. So I have the pro version, so I can use the graphics and all the fonts for commercial use. Yeah. And then, and I remember I was doing it for Reels, and I talked to RJ because I put one video on TikTok, and then like a day and a half later had like 300 views. And he was like, yeah, man, just start filtering it through TikTok. Like, just kind of make that your thing, make that your lane. I'm like, okay, stay in my lane. So I started putting them on TikTok. So now I do, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I do design tutorials that are just real shorts. And then last week I did a longer video. Well, actually it was this past Monday. I did a longer video where I did like 3 different designs and just really went in there so that people can see, okay, how do I do this? What are some of the tools that I can use so that they can pick up the Over app and, you know, make designs.
Awesome. Yeah, this this business is so easy to get started in. Like, just watch Nick's video. You know, there's so many. Nick is great to follow if you're getting started to learn how to do this stuff, and then you can keep getting better and better. It's kind of like chess. That's how I feel like. Like, it's so easy to get started and make some money, and then you just keep getting better and better. And then you can learn marketing, and you can learn so many things to really, really grow. But overall, great way to start.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And I think that's one of the other reasons that I wanted to kind of cultivate my channel in the direction that I have it going now. Simply because there are so many distractions in print on demand right now that I'm like, I need to create a channel where we can just tunnel vision on the things that we're supposed to do. And that is design.
Yep.
Do proper research the right way, keyword the right way, and then make money the right way. And I think that if everybody just tunnel vision on that, then we could eliminate 70% of the distractions that we get in this business. And I don't know, it's just it's one of those things where because somebody brought up something negative last week when we were doing merch talk, and I'm not the person that's just like, let's ignore it. I'm like, let's confront it head on. Listen, there are people that do think so full disclaimer, the opinions of Nick Eden are that of Nick Eden alone.
And real quick, Brad was talking about how he liked that you guys started merch talk up again.
Oh yeah, so I'm going to talk about merch talk because we have a plan for merch talk, and we haven't really talked to a lot of people about it.
Good.
But yeah. So with that disclaimer out there, this is Nick Eden and Nick Eden only saying this. There are people out there that do merch by Amazon and other print on demand platforms the wrong way. There are people out there that tote the line of what is right and what's wrong, and there are some people who are just drawn in and taught the wrong way. At the end of the day, if everybody had their own business to mind, it would not affect anything else. If everybody concentrated on just doing their part and doing the right thing, I caught a lot of this bad news last week. But to be honest, the reason that I just caught it was because I tunnel vision on everything. I watch the content. You know, I have my playlist set to where I'm watching your videos, I'm watching RJ's videos, I'm watching Juna's videos. But for the most part, I kind of stay in my lane and stay in my bubble. You know, for me, all that other stuff, that's high school stuff for me. Like, we're grown. I can't speak for anybody else. I'm 40. I'm 40,
I'm getting uncomfortably close to that.
I'm 40, I'm married, and I have children. Like, yeah. I hear enough about the drama at my oldest daughter's high school to not be hearing about that. Because when I sit in front of this computer and I'm making content, I'm thinking about how I can make money and how I can make other people money and nothing else. So that, and again, this is just me talking. I'm not representing anybody else but myself. Y'all just focus on you and your journey. If everybody would concentrate on doing it the right way on their own, you have nothing else to worry about. This other stuff will weed itself out. Like I said, we'll see in just maybe a week or two who's still around Redbubble, who was a mistake and who wasn't. And you know what? If somebody did get their account snatched, okay. If it's not your account, don't worry about it. Just focus. Every time you think you want to look up something negative, upload a shirt.
Oh my God. Can we do it? Somebody who knows video editing, I'm like horrific with video editing, but somebody needs to clip that out. Anytime you want to do something negative, make a shirt. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, anytime. The moment you think you're going to see something negative, you're going to read something negative, you're going to post something negative, just make a shirt. Post it.
And hopefully not a negative shirt.
Hopefully
but
not
who knows? Maybe the negative shirt would sell too.
Not anymore. Not the way they're cracking down.
Good point. Yes. Keep it clean. Oh my gosh. So many good nuggets there. Yes. I wish everybody would think like that. But
yeah.
For the most part, I always say the vast majority of people in print on demand I love talking to, and they're very positive. There's just a few people that are, anyway.
It happens.
So yes, that's across the board. Anywhere you go, there's going to be some negativity somewhere along the way. But anyway, so I'm so glad that you guys are doing Merch Talk again. I love that group of people. I love that show. Amazing. If you guys don't subscribe, that is
that's on
Texas
Margaret's
Gal,
channel.
Yeah, Margaret's channel, Texas Gal Treasures. So
Absolutely. So originally, at first I came on as a guest of Merch Talk. Merch Talk was actually started by Joe and Margaret, and then they brought in Jeff, and then Chris came in, and then that was the last addition to it. And we were doing the show every week. But
wait, when was that? I'm trying to remember. Was that like 2017 or something? That was a while.
So Joe and Margaret started in late 2017, and 2018 is when it really just kind of started going, and it became a weekly thing because it was kind of just like a spot thing that just happened from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were doing it every week, and just to be completely transparent, we all had things going on. People had personal things, professional things.
Yeah.
We wanted to try new ventures, but then everybody's like, well, what about Merch by Amazon? Well, I was like, well, I want to try out a lot of the side hustle stuff. I want to try out this. I love merch, but merch pays on the net 30. I'm going to take a few days and I'm going to go and drive for Amazon Flex because they pay 2 days a week. So, as we expanded our professional and personal interests, the show just kind of drifted a little bit. Mm-hmm. And to be completely honest, the negativity gets to people at a certain point. Yeah. And you have to take a break. Like doing this content, this stuff, this is not easy to do. Like this is not easy to do because it's like on one hand, you want to make sure that you are doing everything possible to bring the best information as consistently as you can. But then you also have a life.
Yeah.
Right? You also have things happen like 2020. Yep. So for us, it was just a situation where it's like, okay, let's take a little break. Then we will come back and we do just kind of like a refresher show every now and then. Yeah. What we were doing while we were gone. So Joe hits us up last weekend and he's like, hey, what do you think about doing just a show? And we just do a show once a month.
Perfect.
Just to kind of get ourselves going. So that's how we're doing it. So the last Wednesday of each month, we will be on Texas Gal Treasures doing Merch Talk at 7 p.m. Central. And it'll be a time where everybody can just kind of come. Like Jeff gave us a challenge on last week's show that, we all do. By the time we get back together, we do 30 pillows and just see how it goes.
Because I love that. That's great.
That's what we did. Yeah, that's what made the show to begin with. We're not gurus. We're just regular people talking about this stuff. So for me, I think I identify more with the person that's like, man, I'm trying to get that tier up to 8K. Or honestly, I still identify with people that are just like, yo, I'm trying to get that tier up to 25. Yeah. Sometimes you just don't know what's going on. You don't know where this thing is headed. Yeah. You are shooting in the dark sometimes. You can do wonderful research. You can be great at research and you can still completely miss something that's going over, or you can miss a platform that's starting to be on the rise. Like, honestly, I didn't realize how hot Redbubble had gotten again until I just looked up one day and I'm like, yeah, everybody's talking about Redbubble again.
Yeah, Redbubble really blew up. Like it's really doing well. Yeah.
But I get it because a lot of people
they have more products and they just run well, I feel like.
And then it's not invite only. So that's one of the things that I found in Clubhouse. One, there are so many people that just don't know about the concept of print on demand. And so you have a lot of people that are still doing the old tried and true way of screen printing and the heat transfer and everything like that. And so just in talking to them, they're like, yo, I really want to get into this. But, at least merch isn't like it was when I first started. I waited 6 months before I got accepted. So now people are getting in.
Did I tell you about with me? Like I was doing FBA and I saw like immediately when merch came out, but it was geared towards video games or like gamers or I don't know. I just saw the email or saw the post and just completely ignored it like 5 seconds later. And then Chris Green started talking about it and the way he was explaining it, I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. That sounds good. So I was like, it was September. So it was right, like we're so busy with Q4, packing boxes, shipping stuff. So I'm in the middle of packing a box. He's like going on and on about it. I pause for a second, apply, immediately get in because there was no like time frame. Like you immediately got in the first month that it was there. So I got in, went back to packing my box, and I was like, oh, I'll do it at some point.
You've been doing it that long? Like you got in.
So I got in literally September 2015, like as soon as it came out. And then I was still so new to just entrepreneurship in general. I didn't understand like, okay, you got to jump on things quickly. So I was just like, okay, I'm doing FBA. I'm just going to focus on that. That's all I did. I was like, eventually I'll learn how to do graphic design. Finally, Brianna started that design company. I bought a couple designs from her and uploaded them. The next month when I did that, that was fall of 2016, I uploaded my first shirt. So a full year. The very next month, had I not uploaded that shirt, everyone that had applied with me that hadn't uploaded a shirt got their account shut down. So I think it was Steve Rakin and a few other people around that time. They all had their merch accounts shut down because I hadn't uploaded anything within a year. And I made it by like less than 30 days of uploading in time before my account got shut down.
Wow.
And then all of so that was fall of 2016. All the rest of 2016 and 2017, I still never designed my own shirt. I would just periodically buy designs and upload them. Like that was it. And then by the time like 2017 ended, I was just realizing like, I don't know if I just want to keep flipping products. I feel like I should do either private label or print on demand or something where I own the products. And it's not just flipping stuff from Walmart and everywhere.
Don't get me wrong, I still enjoy sourcing. I know a lot of people don't do that, but to me, it's like a treasure hunt. And there are a lot of thrift stores and places in my area.
RJ says, you're pretty good at finding new things quickly now. Yes. Yeah. Now I'm great at it, but I still don't always take action. So I took action quickly on Clubhouse, but TikTok is one where I did. Technically I did. Like I made a couple videos, but then I was just like, this is not, like, I just can't do it for some reason. It's just not quite my thing.
I think I was looking at one of your TikTok videos the other night. I think you were at a conference. I can't remember specifically where.
Yeah.
But I was looking at it. I was like, yo, this was because I missed all the I missed all the conferences. And then in 2020, when I'm like, okay, well, things are changing. I'm hitting all the conferences this year. And then it was like, no, you're not.
So, I know. I'm so happy that I went to so many in 2019. I went to at least 3 conferences, maybe 4 conferences, and then a ton of meetups. So I was like somewhere every single month.
And we were supposed to do the meetup together in Atlanta, and I couldn't. I was so upset.
We still had it though. We still had that Atlanta meetup. So I got to meet some good people. I think Jill went to that, and I'm trying to remember who went. It wasn't a huge meetup, but there was about, I don't know, a few people there, maybe.
Well, I tell you what hurt my heart. In 2019, I was sitting back and I was talking to my wife, and I'm like, look, I've been wanting to do a merch conference. Like I really just been wanting to do just a merch by Amazon, a general PLD conference, but a merch by Amazon conference. And I wanted to do it in New Orleans, and I was going to call it Merchy Gras.
Oh my God, I love it.
And in my mind, I was like, okay, I really want to build. So this was 2019. And I'm like, I really want to build in 2020, and in 2021, we're going to do it. And then everything got shut down.
Sometimes you just got to do things quick. Because I think about that with Merch Money too. Like I was definitely not ready. Like I was tier 2000, like not ready to start a group. But somebody asked me for my group. Like I was at a conference and they're like, oh, can I have the name of your group? I want to join your group. And I'm like, what are they like? Why did they think I have a group?
Everybody has a group.
It was so funny. Like just, it kind of put the idea in my head, like, why don't I have a group? And anyway, I just decided to start it. And like, I'm glad I did, because it's like, you're never ready. Like, imagine if I was starting it now. Now tier 20,000 is like nothing. Like people are at 200,000 or what. Like you're never going to be good enough. So it's like, might as well just start.
Might as well just start. And I don't know why I didn't take that same attitude, because honestly, when I started the 4554 podcast, I was at tier 500.
Yeah.
Like I have no idea why I did not just go ahead and pull the trigger on it. But I won't let that happen again. So
yeah, you just got to start, and you learn along the way. And just being able to talk to people every week from the print on demand community, I learned so much. Like I wouldn't have been able to have those conversations if I hadn't had a channel for them to come on. Like it'd be harder to just call people up and be like, can I talk to you for an hour? Like right. It's easier to get an interview than to just take someone's time for an hour. So, yeah,
and there's so much
a great way to learn
content out there. Like it's so much great content that's still out there. I was listening to some of the old Merch Minds podcasts, maybe about a week and a half ago. Yeah, and I was just like, man, it was just so much great content that even though print on demand has changed, it's still very relevant. And so that's why I'm like, I miss a lot of the old content. Like I the morning drive, like, okay, honestly, and I kind of bit this idea from the Jersey guys. The merch morning drive that they used to do, that's what inspired me. Yeah, that's what inspired me to do Morning Cup of Merch, because at that point I was driving to New Orleans every morning, and I'm having these conversations in my head, and something was just like, turn your phone on. And I was like, you know what? And I was like, what would Anthony and Kevin do?
Oh my God, we got to tell them. We got to tell them. He said, we got to catch up with them. Anthony was on the show at some point, but I'd love to hear how they're doing now. That'd be great.
Yeah, I know they're doing the call center deal. I'm wondering how. I hope that the pandemic didn't affect their business too much. But it's been a long time since I've spoken with Anthony, and I should definitely reach out to him because I miss those guys.
I do too. Travis is saying, let's get together in Denver. He does a great conference there. The what's it called? The Rocky Mountain Seller Conference.
Oh, Rocky Mountain Reseller. Yeah. I love it. I love Denver. I love it, especially when it's not cold. I don't know how you Northerners do it. I grew up by the beach, so I don't do extreme cold at all. It's like 62 degrees out here right now.
Yeah. Virginia. I'm in Northern Virginia right now, and it's. I feel like Northern Virginia, we get both ends of the spectrum. We get really hot and really cold. So I feel like I'm kind of prepared for whatever anybody else has. But yeah, I'm about to be going to Missouri, and that's going to be colder.
Yeah, I was about to say that's going to be colder. I had on shorts Christmas Day, so I can't really. I'm on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. My house is 5 minutes from the beach, so it's like, sorry.
Well, at some point we'll have to have a meetup in Atlanta or somewhere, wherever, New Orleans, wherever, somewhere down there.
Yeah, you know what? It's got to be New Orleans.
Oh wait, sorry to interrupt. RJ says he has talked to Anthony. Anthony is my homie. I was speaking to him the other day. He's doing a lot of bets on MMA.
You know what? That sounds like Anthony.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah,
he's still doing the oh my gosh, what's the word? He had a call center, right?
Yeah,
is that what he was doing?
Yeah, and he changed the Merch Empire channel to Call Center BS. And,
that's right. But then they never did that many videos on there, right?
I know. I wish they had. Yeah.
That would have been good.
Look it up now.
We got to get him on Clubhouse. RJ, is he on Clubhouse? Then we could just all hang out and talk to him. That'd be so fun.
Yeah, the last video they did was Valentine's Day last year.
Oh, really? Maybe I missed some because I felt like it was longer ago than that.
They had 2 videos they had 2 videos a year ago, and everything else was 2 years more, and then it just breaks into the merch stuff.
RJ says he's gonna get them on. Okay, perfect.
Yes,
let me know. Let's do a Clubhouse room with all of them. We have like a reunion. Oh my gosh, that would be so fun.
Yeah, I keep trying to get Joe to be a little bit more interactive on Clubhouse. I'm like, dude, come on.
Oh, I invited him. If you see who invited him, it says Helen Kinson.
Yeah, I saw that he finally got on. I'm like, come on, dude. So
I tried to invite RJ, and he kept turning me down. And then he finally found an old iPhone. And then I was asleep because it was like midnight my time. And so we got somebody else to invite him on. But
so I'm gonna go through and watch all the old Merch Empire videos now.
I know, right? Now that we brought it up, in preparation for the Jersey Guy Clubhouse reunion.
Right. I try not to curse whenever I'm on video, but it's like you listen to Anthony, you can't help but do it. So it's just
no, you can't.
It's like
all right. Whoa, it's almost an hour. Sorry, guys, this flew by for me. Did we cover everything? Clubhouse, Redbubble, Teespring, Teepublic. We didn't cover
Teepublic. Yeah.
Okay, Teepublic.
So and this has come up before, but it's recently come up, I'll say within the last 2 to 3 weeks, where people are saying that their stores are not searchable, their products are not searchable on Teepublic. And I'm gonna take a screenshot and post it on Instagram, exactly where Teepublic essentially says, hey, you can come and sell on our platform. but it doesn't guarantee that we're going to make you searchable. They have a very, anybody who's ever been to the homepage of Teepublic, they have a very curated style because they have a certain customer that they cater to. And it's, the best way to describe it would be, something along the lines of the type of stuff that Juna does, or a T-shirt fellow. These are very, very graphic-based design. Not saying text-based can't, work there, because I've sold text-based there, but they have a style that their customer likes, and that's what they cater to. You can actually email them and request to make your store searchable. However, there are a few things that you're going to have to do. You're going to have to optimize your store. So things like, and it sounds crazy to say this, but putting a profile picture on your storefront. There are so many stores that don't have them. Putting a banner, they give you this storefront for a reason. Yeah. So making it actually look like a professional store, and then driving a bit of your traffic. So you can do these things. I mean, it's like 4 or 5 things that they ask you to do in order to make your store searchable, and then they'll do it. What I will say about it is, I more often than not have forgotten about Teepublic, and that's not the fault of the platform. That's on me. And then every time I go there, I have not loaded anything other than I woke up at like 3 a.m. last night and loaded like 20 designs. But I got like $3.50 for January. So I'm like, woohoo, but it's possible. There are people that are selling a lot. And I don't care what platform you're with, whether it's Teepublic, Society 6, Designed by Humans, Threadless, Spreadshirt, whatever the case may be. If you actually work that platform, you can make a lot of sales. And I get it. It's easy to be distracted and want to put all of your concentration on Merch by Amazon. I understand why. Quite frankly, what I make on what it would take me like 2, maybe even 3 months to make on Redbubble, I make on Amazon in a day. So I get it. But I think that's also my fault because I've not cultivated my Redbubble store the way I should have. Because there are people who are absolutely crushing it on Redbubble. And it's the same thing with Teepublic. So just put the time in, optimize your store, make sure your listings are optimized. Don't have everything just be text-based, stretch it out a little bit.
Sorry, I think the other part of it, one of the reasons to be everywhere is just to keep a tab on it, because you never know when all of a sudden it's going to take off. Like Redbubble, I mean, Redbubble's always done fairly well, but then they kind of took off once they added face masks and they added all these other great products. So if you hadn't already had a Redbubble store, you may have missed it. Like if you keep up with all these different platforms, you'll see which ones all of a sudden have a great product, or all of a sudden have some kind of marketing campaign they did that brought in more people. So,
I think it's 2 things to that, because quiet as it's kept, Zazzle is starting to kind of come back up in the ranks.
I was going to say, I'm like, we should talk about Zazzle too. They have so many products.
Yeah, I think that Redbubble in particular took advantage of the fact that Merch never put out face masks.
Yeah,
I think they caught that where it was, and I agree with what Kim was saying. I think that, and no disrespect to anybody who has created automation software, but I think that scale mentality that works so well on Merch by Amazon, it has made other platforms suffer. And it works in some instances, but I also think that it's about being respectful, because every platform has their own audience and they have their own way of doing things. So I think that if you tap into that and you're respectful of that, you can make a ton of money on any one of these platforms. But you actually have to respect what that platform is doing, research that platform, and don't just think I can take this one design with my dabbing fox that's holding hand sanitizer and a face mask on, and I can put that on every platform. It's going to sell through the roof. It just doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't work like that. Like they have their own, because if everybody did what Merch did, then everything would be a Merch knockoff. I think it's wonderful that Teepublic has its own type of audience, Redbubble its own type of audience, Etsy, Designed by Human, Society 6, and so many others. Even Rage On, which is on the phone primarily. I would never buy a $70 hoodie like they have on Rage On, but they have a customer base that will buy a $70 hoodie.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
So, you know,
there's so many good people that are watching right now and in the chat. I wish it was like Clubhouse where we could just bring everybody on as a speaker.
well,
so we could talk to everybody.
Let's just get everybody invites. Like I want Ken Real on Clubhouse so bad. So I need
Ken. Are you on Clubhouse? Travis is on. RJ's on. Who else is on? Ken saying, I think merch moves to a more to a healthy, promoted fulfillment platform in the future. Oh, heavily promoted fulfillment platform in the future.
He's on Android. Ken, if there's anybody in this chat right now that can just pick up and go buy an iPhone, it's you.
I don't remember who said it. Somebody was saying how you don't even need it connected to a phone plan. You just get any old iPhone off eBay and have it just on your Wi-Fi, and it's fine.
Right. Get it right.
Yeah, Neil Laston was the same thing. He has the Android. RJ had the Android.
He says, sorry, fat thumbs. That's hilarious.
Oh, Loretta wants an invite. Loretta, don't let me forget. Maybe send me a message. And I just used up all mine, but I should get more in a couple of days. I could invite you. Clubhouse is not ready for Ken.
You know what?
Travis is saying after party. And that is what I want to do. So I don't have any official set show on Clubhouse yet. I just have been going live periodically or joining other people's. But I'm thinking about doing them on Mondays after the Merch Money show. So we'll see.
Yeah,
I'm totally fine with going live now too. Whatever you.
I think that Ken, I'm going to find a way to get you on Clubhouse some way, because I think, especially in the last 2 weeks, I probably talked about the trademark watchdogs group more than I've done.
I can attest to that. I've heard you talk about it. Yep.
Yeah. So I need you on there, buddy. I need you on there. So.
Yep. RJ saying we did 3 hours yesterday. Yes. Travis was part of that. Nick was part of that.
I fell asleep on y'all. Like, and what was so crazy? My phone cut off. So like I was like, oh my gosh, thank God I had my mic off, because I've had a friend of mine fall asleep in the Clubhouse room and they started snoring. And so I fell asleep and I woke up at 2:30 in the morning. And I was like, oh crap, what?
Fernando was on there and his phone ran out of batteries, but he was still talking. So he was like, oh, I just finished. He messaged me. He's like, I just finished my monologue. Sorry, you guys didn't hear it. But yeah, it was fun. RJ was like starving by the end. It was like right during his dinner.
Right. I keep forgetting he's on Pacific time.
Yeah.
Man, come on.
He was like, couldn't wait to eat after that. But yeah, it was fun.
So I think the biggest takeaway from all of this is just like, everybody just concentrate on doing you. Like, do it the right way. There's still a ton of money to be made in print on demand. And I think things are expanding. Like, as I'm switching focus, Morning Cup of Merch is definitely going to be more centered on the platforms like Merch and Redbubble and Teepublic. 4554 podcast, I'm actually starting a new Shopify venture. So, and I know everybody's like, what do you mean, Nick? You're just starting a Shopify channel? No, it's through a program. It's an actual venture. So I'm going to be documenting the entire thing. But
that's cool.
What I really am looking for is I want, by the end of this year, somebody to be able to take all of the podcasts that I've done for the 4554 podcast and use it as kind of like a masterclass to start theirs. But I'm trying to get into some bigger products. I'm trying to get, I eventually, I can tell you now, eventually what I want to have is I want to have my own fulfillment center. I'm talking, I'm already looking into 3D printers. I'm looking into wood engraving. Like I'm trying to take this, because I think that sometimes we don't really look past what we can see, in terms of like screenshots and stuff.
Do you are you friends with Travis? Travis is in the chat too. He has his own fulfillment
really
set up. He has an awesome, guys, if you are not following Travis, he has an awesome podcast. Let me see if I can remember what it's called. I know it's just the letters POD, but I don't remember what else.
He just sent me a friend request.
POD cast.
We're friends now.
Yeah, he does. He's on Walmart, so he sells print on demand on Walmart, which is something that I've been wanting to learn about for a long time. And I've been pushing anyone who has a Walmart account to do print on demand with it. And I've been having trouble. Like most of the people that have Walmart accounts, they are doing, private label or their own thing, and they haven't added. Here we go. It's called Print on Demand Cast podcast.
I am going to subscribe to his
He talks all about all kinds of things, but about printing your own t-shirts. He does his own fulfillment on Walmart. So he has print on demand on Walmart, and then he does his own fulfillment so that it can be fast. So he doesn't have to link it to Printful or anything else. Here we go. We've got six different printing methods in-house.
Wow.
And he does a lot of mugs, and he's very knowledgeable about print on demand, but also about Seller Central and selling on Amazon and selling on some of these other platforms. So we've had him on the show. My setup that day was terrible. I was trying to record from a different location. So I apologize. It's not a great video, but if you look up Merge Money and Travis, you'll find it. If you just listen to it, it was good.
I just subscribed to PODcast. So nice. I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, and to me, that's what it's all about. I just want to have put as much content out there, absorb as much good content out there, and then just really bring this to the next level, and hopefully be just in that position to where, I'm sorry. Part of this program that I'm in has me with a one-on-one coach, which is funny because I've kind of had to humble myself a lot, which is great though in the long term. I got to stop saying hope. It will be. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge.
Having a coach can be really great. It's and I saw a good post on Facebook the other day. I forget who posted it, but it was something about if you agree with your coach, then it's a paid friend. It should be uncomfortable. It should be where they're really pushing you to better yourself.
Right. I had a moment out. I can be. I try to be as transparent as possible. I had a moment where in speaking with this person, I just got, and he was like, yeah, because you're trying to build this into a 6 and 7 figure business. And I had an ego moment because I've had a marketing agency in the past. I've built at least 2 businesses to 6 figures. And I was like, I've already done it. He was like, well, you're not doing it now. So now and I was like, oh God, you're right.
Yep. It's just one of those things.
So yeah,
well, I'm so happy you're doing that and pushing yourself to expand, because I think a lot of us get stuck at some point. I know for myself, that happened in 2020 where it's just kind of okay, I've been doing merge. I've been doing, you hit a year where you're like, okay, what's the next thing? This is, you need to keep growing. And what I'm doing to push through is just start training for a marathon. I know it's nothing to do with print on demand.
No, it's a discipline
sometimes it gets your mind okay, if I'm the type of person that runs a marathon, maybe I'm the type of person that, has a Shopify empire or whatever it is. It kind of just makes you think bigger sometimes. So that's what I'm doing.
I think if we took a survey right now in Merch Money and asked people how many folks in here have a business plan written down for their business, I'm willing to bet that 90% don't.
Yep.
It's such an easy business to get into. The barrier of entry is so low that even people with business experience don't do it. We just kind of get on there and see what we can do. I've written business plans before, and I never wrote a business plan for my print on demand. It's the craziest thing to look up 5-6 years later and be like, you gotta be kidding me. I never actually came up with a plan for this. I just kind of did it.
Yeah.
You have to treat this like a real business. It requires investment, whether it's investment of funds, investment of time. It requires goals, benchmarks that you set for yourselves. I guarantee you 90% of the people will be like, no, I don't have one.
Yeah.
And that includes me. So now we just try to do
So here's to 2021. We're all going to, up our game, and who knows where we'll end up at the end of the year. We'll learn a lot, but definitely I'm learning so much from Travis and everybody else here in the chat. I think we covered everything, right? I'm so happy you did that video, and you've really been, your content has been amazing.
Thank you. So I'll say this much. I'll go ahead and make a plea for it now. Hey guys, please head over to Nick Eden on YouTube and subscribe. If you enjoy just watching content about quick designs, I'm doing that on YouTube as well as the 4554 podcast Instagram and Nick Eden on TikTok. I never make a plea for people to subscribe, but I'm asking subscribe, please.
Yes. Please subscribe. He needs to be over 1,000. He's been doing this way too long. I don't understand how. Anyway, please subscribe to him. And while you're at it, subscribe to us too.
Absolutely. And hit the bell for notifications. I love when merch money goes live.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you for being here. We'll have to get Q on next time. Guys, if you don't follow Q, she has an amazing YouTube channel. And she's on Clubhouse too.
Yep. Quanta Cox Smith is on YouTube. She does a great job. She does a lot of walkthrough videos too. So I really appreciate it. To me, that's what Clubhouse is about. Like, I met Q and we just hit it off, and we just been rocking together this whole time. She's a really genuine person. Yes. I've really enjoyed doing this club with her and looking forward to what we can do in the future.
Yep. Oh, look at everybody saying they subscribe to you. Awesome.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Nick. And thank you, everyone. If you have any requests for videos for the future, I want to get back on track this year. I know I was a little lazy last year with videos. So if there's anything you want to see, let me know. We'll try to get back on track with this. So, all right. Thanks, Nick. Thank you, everyone. We'll catch you next time.
Night, everybody.